Oh, how's it going? You ain't from around here, are you? Yeah? Well, you know about Coventry. I'll tell you about Coventry. Amnesia House. It was the most respected and loved promotion going. And they were the boys. The town loved it. They were respected, they were loved.
So being real was when you get your hands dirty and you're handing out flyers at a club at 2 in the morning, when actually what you should be doing is sitting down and looking at where's the next venue, where's the next tape pack, where's the next event, how are we doing the production better, rather than handing out flyers and saying, I've got to make sure people get these. Actually, what happened after that, it was turned into a business.
We had a chance of teaming up with an organisation called Nemesis.
I think we were ready for the next stage to go a little bit bigger. Now, we didn't have no big venue. We had the Eclipse that was fitting in 2,000 people, stuff like that.
They could get large venues, too big for us to finance. We weren't in it for the money. We were ravers.
I think they approached Mickey, and Mickey came to me and Bam and says, look, we've been offered Donington Park, you know, Donington Exhibition Centre, which held 8,000 to 10,000 people.
And we were like, oh my God, this is a bit out of our league. We can never finance this. But these people had the finance for it.
And they believed that we could pull in 8,000 to 10,000 people.
So we thought, come on, let's give it a go. Let's try it. We've got nothing to lose. It's what we wanted.
We went along with it. We struck some sort of a deal.
Mickey, you know, he nurtured the business side of things, where with the, you know, sometimes, you know, not taken seriously, but his event management and getting us manoeuvring Amnesia into a better angle was little to behold. You know, he was there at the front of it.
We felt very much part of it. We was always told what was going on, what they was thinking and planning on doing. They wanted us to be involved. And it was just great to be part of it. It was a good buzz, a proper buzz.
The financial thing about putting an event on them, you had to pay something like £15,000 just for the police to police it. And then you had the venue, your live acts, the security. This was just the rave scene started to blow up.
It was amazing, but I also knew that we didn't have the finances to put something on ourselves like Donington.
Amnesia House weren't the only people that were doing massive raves at that time, but they were the kings of the north. That's how we saw them. Because we're so mentally challenged in London that we think everybody else is beneath us. There's no difference. Do you know what I mean? They all love music, we're all music people, and we're all here for the same thing. So Amnesia House, they're the kings of the north, and rightfully so.
They're all the same sort of DJs that we're having at a 2,000 venue. Now we're going to 8,000 to 10,000. First Donington Park, I pulled up in my car outside the queue. I just couldn't believe what was going on.
It was just acres of people. It was like being at a football match, but you're in the middle of the crowd and the crowd goes every direction. It was just crazy. It's like what you see at a stadium concert.
It was like an event you're going to do at the NEC, something like that. It weren't like our underground style.
I think there was about 9,000 to 10,000 people there. That was Amnesia House. Hitting the big time. Not financially, but putting big shows on.
That one gig was the one where it kind of elevated from playing clubs to all of a sudden we're like in Donington Park.
You look back and you think, that was history. Do you know what I'm saying? Years later you look back and you think, that is history.
But it's a nice feeling, it's a lovely feeling, because you see the smiles on people's faces, don't you? You know what I mean? And the joy when they see you. You know what I mean? Like we said, people's champion, isn't it?
That's what I really loved about the rave scene, because you just put your trainers on, your leggings, I'd have a little bra top because it was very hot, and you'd just dance and dance and dance, and you'd be soaking.
But it's a good feeling. It is. It's amazing, because you know you've done your work, innit? You're doing your work. You're doing something right. You're bringing happiness to people.
They loved it as much as I suppose you call them the punters, whatever you want to call them, throughout the whole of the space of time that they were evolving, getting bigger and bigger, it wasn't just about money all the time. It was about they were doing it for themselves as much as they were doing it for the ravers out there. You know, they wanted to listen to that great music. They wanted to watch the Prodigy.
Probably drugs played a big part in that, because obviously the drugs must have been better back then than they are now, but it must have played a big part in it, but it was the best times.
The drugs were getting too much. I'd look and people were just totally like on another planet. And I know that's probably what they went to do.
Let's make no bones about it. Ecstasy was a massive part of the whole scene. Good pills, good night. That was it.
Yeah, you just sometimes have to go to the chill out room just to have a rest and chat to some random person about God knows what for a couple of hours, and then go back on it.
And I got a little bit, oh my life, it was getting scary.
People were living in a dream state. There was a euphoria that just seemed to outdo the actual situation. Even though everything was cool with people, life wasn't cool. It was a bit of a charade in a way, because everybody was trying to feel good, but then it was a feeling that you were chasing type of thing. So it wasn't really real, but it was good when it was there.
The one thing that stuck with me that night was Mad P was kicking down the set and it was buzzing. Pat must have come up and he was on the mic and he goes, fucking hell, has anyone got a spliff for me? I'm fucking buzzing my tits off, please. And then all of a sudden, it was like the Doors. Literally, the bang. Basically, the drugs just came raining onto the stage. I'm talking like
everything.
Bags of everything was just landing like this on the stage. And Pat must have come over to me and he goes, fucking hell, look at that. It was just full up of it. Unbelievable, really.
The whole crowd, the hands went up in the air and it was just amazing. Like 10,000 people, hands in the air, atmosphere, it just hit me.
I must have played Rosala, Everybody Screamed. And he goes, no, that's a commercial tune, Jay. He goes, look at the response you got from the crowd. The place just went fucking mad. They just went mad. The noise was unbelievable in there. Mickey came over and goes, had a word with me. It was lovely.
It was just a moment where everybody was together. Everybody didn't care what everybody else was doing. Like, it was just as one.
By the time they'd finished one do, we were ready for another one. So it was like a machine basically at that time. That was just each time you done one, it got better and better and better and better.
So for me, as the sensible one out of Amnesia, for me it was we were losing it. If that makes sense, because we'd never have the finances to put an event on like that. So for me, it wasn't Amnesia. We were just there. It was our name.
A lot of people thought like that we were millionaires, like, but they didn't realise these events cost a hell of a lot of money to put on. You know, it was like, okay, there's 10,000 people there, and people probably were adding up like, God, they've made £200,000, but they didn't realise, do all the X's. Like there weren't a lot left after. We didn't come out with a lot of money, me, Bam, and Mickey, after them events.
It was a huge venue and it was so different. I mean, personally, I preferred the Shelleys and the smaller thing. I preferred that myself. But the great big events were fantastic as well. But it's something that it wasn't the same vibe for me. Do you know what I mean?
It went from the underground family, everybody knowing and loving each other, to commercial, and Donington was sort of the end. So I didn't enjoy Donington's, if I'm honest. If I'm totally honest.
At this time, we sort of led the field of getting everything from becoming illegal to legal to bigger events. And then I think there must have been a lot of people, especially in the entertainment business, on the outside looking at what we were doing and thought, this thing is getting big. This thing is starting to get big now. Their ears must have pricked up and looking at what we were doing, thinking there's going to be big money in this scene. These weren't ravers like we were. They come in behind us and started putting big shows on using our DJs, our live PAs, and we couldn't compete with these people. They were too big. They were too big. They had massive amounts of money.
From where we came from, yeah, you know, Wood End lads, Belgreen lads, you know, we had nothing when we were younger, and all of a sudden, like, we're doing events for 10,000 people, and it's gone from 100 to 10,000 in a matter of years. It was just the feeling, everything was just unbelievable. Where, you know, like, what is going on here in our lives? This weren't planned.
I always remember Mickey. Maybe it was down to Bam Bam in the end, but I always remember feeling to myself like, yeah, he put me on. You know, it wasn't like we definitely got to have Ron because, you know, he's wicked. I always felt that he was just like, you know what, I think this guy's got potential. I'm gonna give him a platform, and for that reason, I was really pleased about playing at clubs like that for those guys.
We were kids from the streets. We had poor educations, and here we are, like, putting events on that you'd only think like someone that was really clever could put these sort of events together. Not too dirtbrains like me now. But yeah, we pulled it off.
This was a group of blokes who just wanted to put a party on, you know? But then suddenly you had no choice but to be businesslike because you had competition, and the competition wanted to steal your punters. One of the best marketing tools for any club is a tape pack, because it tells people who are potentially looking to come what they're going to experience on the night.
What we used to do as well, we used to record the night, so you'd have Groove Rider or Fabio or Carl Cox or someone like that.
I remember we bought 2 tape machines, yeah? I think 3 tape machines, Mickey got them. So we'd have the master done off a DAT or whatever, and then we'd transfer it onto the master tape and say Groove Rider. So then we'd copy, I think it was 16 tapes in 30 seconds, all recorded. Then we'd box them up and put the sleeves into the cassettes.
And then them cassettes would go all around the country. Scotland, Wales, they would go everywhere throughout the country, different outlets. And that was another side of the promotion of Amnesia House.
Now you don't have to worry about the dough. Now you're going, what else can I do? And so it fuels this sort of like entrepreneurship in individuals to like say, what next can I do? People weren't going, okay, I'm gonna open up a car showroom. They were still doing it within line with music and the arts, so to speak.
The music was relatively new still. So I didn't actually realise that people were actually making money from it. Because I was so oblivious to it all. I was just like, you know, there's a tape out there with my shit on there, but I was oblivious to it all, to be honest. But it didn't make a difference to me. To me, I always saw it as promotion of the music. And then other people started to moan about it and look at it more intensely, and like when they started quoting the figures that these people were making from it.
We were doing this simultaneously. We were all sort of simultaneously starting record labels or starting to put on events or trying something new that had never existed before.
Mickey used to travel all over he had 250 outlets all over the UK. Mickey was in his BMW, loaded up with tape packs, tapes, flyers, everything. He was everywhere. He had it on lockdown, the tape business, Mickey did.
You know what, at first, I didn't know at first. It's only when people started coming around and saying, I saw the tapes. But the person that first drew my attention to it, that was a problem, was Mickey Finn. Mickey Finn was like, listen, these guys are making a lot of money off our tapes, because Mickey's very shrewd. Mickey's like, do you know what, Jack? You know, these people are making a lot of money off of our tapes. We need to get some money off them. Do you know what I mean? And at first I was like, it's all right, Mickey, it's harmless.
On the dining table, all the tapes being run off and the merchandise in boxes, and my little Ben mooching around, throwing T-shirts, picking tapes up.
But then we were selling that many of them. We thought, God, who were buying these cassettes? Then you'd speak to the shop owners, what were distributing these cassettes and selling them. We're saying, There's kids that are coming in that are 13, 14, they're buying 2 or 3 cassettes at a time. I think it was just the industry and the music growing.
100 in Birmingham, 100 in Manchester, 100 in London. And then a month later, we'd have, if we'd done another event, we'd bring the new ones. We'd get paid on the old ones and give them some new tapes from the next event. Like, you know, that side of the business was quite a big business in the end. We didn't realise, you know, what's going on here? Like, we've done an event, we've earned a few quid, you know, and now we're earning money off tapes off the night.
And it must have been their mums and dads playing it at home, playing our cassettes, and then the kids getting involved in it. Then the kids were going to the outlets and buying cassettes and stuff like that. So it was just something that was growing in all different sorts of ages as well.
I think we set up catalogue and that, mail order, you know, and we'd get checks and postal orders through the post, you know, for I've ordered an Amnesia t-shirt or an Amnesia tape, and we'd have to post them out through the post office all over the country.
Actually, as the production grew, all of the other industries around the rave scene grew as well.
These Nemesis boys, they ended up saying to us, we've just landed a place that we can get an entertainment licence for probably 15, 16,000 people. And we were like, nah, we wouldn't be able to fill that. And they said, like, have a think about it then.
Right, the Brayfield Stadium came about.
We went round Mick's house one night and Mick says, remember my dream? And we going on the telly and that, and we went, yeah.
Norman, he used to call me, Mickey did, Norman the Doorman.
He ended up on national television on a chat show, something like the Jeremy Kyle show, saying, him and Tareen saying they wanted to get married at the world's biggest rave. And we were like, oh my God, what's he doing on the telly?
Me and Bam looked after his 2 kids while him and Tareen went on that programme.
He said, what about if we use this Brayfield Stadium one as the world's largest rave wedding? And we were like,
you don't have to get married, we're going to do this anyway. He said, listen, Norm, I want to do it.
Do you really want to do that? And he went, Nev, Bam, honest to God, I'm going to get a priest, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. Me and Nev started cracking up laughing.
I'm going to get married in front of 15,000 ravers and I'm going to have Groove Rider as my best man. And that's how it all started.
When Mickey told me he was getting married on stage, I thought he was a fucking lunatic. It was like, what are you talking about? And then I thought, you know, I didn't think much of it because I never thought it would happen. And then you started seeing the promotion of it.
Crazy idea, but crazy ideas are brilliant also. You knew it was going to be a good party.
And I goes, no, you're joking, man. And he goes, no, for real, they're going to get married on the stage, a proper vicar and all that kind of thing. And I was like, fucking hell, that's crazy.
Look at where a dream had got him to that point.
And the tickets were just selling and selling, and it got to 6,000, and we thought, after this, that's our limit. We're going to struggle. Then it went to 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 people, all for this house wedding. We thought, oh my God.
It's never been done before, never been done again, and it probably won't, not to that level of that.
And he clashed with Glastonbury as well. So they were really worried about that, thinking, oh my God, it's the same weekend as Glastonbury. So are we going to struggle for, but they didn't, no way. They, you know, still packed it out and it was amazing.
Like thousands of people like, looking over, a sea of people.
It was amazing how it was pulled off, you know, Groove, the best man, and the vicar on the stage.
And I was like, oh my God, how's this going to go? How's this going to go? It was like it was meant to be. People were cheering in the crowd.
When he was getting married, Mickey, I heard some much noise in my life. The whistles, it was painful. It was really like emotional as well to see our friend up there getting married.
So we parked and we already see commotion at the gate. Can't remember if I called Mickey or one of the Amnesia crew, but Mickey turned up. Mickey started, no, he's got to come in, he's got to play. Like, I didn't want to be calling him down on his wedding day to get me in, but Mickey did turn up.
And we've got a vicar, and his name is Trevor, yeah? And Trevor came out and the crowd couldn't believe it, that we had a vicar as well.
It was good. I enjoyed it, seeing the vicar there and all that. You know what I mean? Groove Rider, the best man, and with a girl, of course. Yeah, it was good.
And when he repeated, these witnesses here present, the whole crowd just erupted and clapped, and Mick got a bottle of champagne, spraying it and putting his hands up, and it was just electric. It was electric. And I had like tears running down my eyes, watching my brother getting married on stage. And I thought, he's crazy, he's fucking crazy.
We just witnessed a wedding, the very first ever wedding on a stage, Groove Ride, you know, Mick, all the, you know, the crowd of people, everyone. I was actually in the crowd. I wasn't like behind the stage. I was in the crowd, and it was just electric.
To have the balls to actually go through with it, it's a one-off, mate. That's why this geezer's a legend, mate. You know what I mean?
I can't remember it, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. Did I do any best man duties? I can't actually remember.
To witness that I, Michael Joseph Linus,
do take thee, Terene Burkett,
do take thee, Terene Burkett,
to be my lawful wedded wife.
To be my lawful wedded wife.
By the powers invested in me, I now pronounce you man and wife.
Sometimes I feel like throwing my hands up in the air. I know I can count on you. Sometimes I feel like saying, Lord, I just don't care. But you've got the love I need to see me through. Sometimes it seems the going is just too rough. And things go wrong no matter what I do. Now and then I feel like life is just too much. But you've got the love I need to see me through. When food is gone, you are my day. When friends are gone, I know my Savior's love is real. Your love is real. Sometimes I feel like throwing my hands up in the air.
The love in the whole place was amazing. It was just unbelievable.
I mean, I don't think anybody's ever done that again. It was just crazy.
It gave you goosebumps up your arms. It was like the first song they brought, you know, after the wedding had been performed, and the first song they brought that in, and it was just like an electric feeling of, this is like amazing to watch my friends get married and that song coming. I'll never forget that, even though I forgot the name of the song.
That was a big deal for us because, you know, like, it was like the rave of the time, and that's what we would do. We'd know what the rave of the time was going to be, and we'd end up going, and I thought it was a fascinating experience.
Just the occasion alone made it special and made it something that could never be replicated.
Same again. Prodigy, Enjoy, 808 State, which was a massive. No one could get them to play at any event. We eventually got them. We got 808 State to play at them. Dream Frequency.
First thing that's going through my mind is not to fuck up. That's number one.
You're on your own. You're not a team.
I thought, you know what, I can't have a drink or nothing before I do that set, otherwise it'd go completely wrong. So I had to be completely on point. I didn't even have a spliff.
I find it more difficult to play in front of 200 people than 20,000. It's more intense, it's more on you.
Sometimes you just trust me gut and go, you know, and hope that I like it. I hope they do too.
But what music I'm loving.
So I literally just remixed every record live, right there on the spot.
Everything I do is generated live.
I got a buzz out of the crowd.
What mood you're in and what takes you at the time.
That is what gives me a feed.
When you're with 20,000 people, you're free because you know more people are going to like what you're doing.
You know you're doing something good when people can recite your lyrics.
In front of all those people as well, it was just a dream come true.
How much the energy in there, the vibe in there.
No pre-programming bullshit.
Everything has worked perfect on that night. It was just perfect night for it to be perfect.
This is all freestyle.
You're giving people a great time.
So it's good, it's good. You're doing something, isn't it?
The Book of Love, when the project went on, I can't remember who was on before me, but it was about a great party for me. It was about going to experience a great event.
So you don't know about the hype that's happening in the Midlands, you don't know. So when we got there, we knew there was going to be a few people there, but those numbers, oh, it was unbelievable. I actually made an effort and wore a waistcoat.
I mean, the amount of people there was unbelievable.
There's so much people, so much screaming, so much love. It's good.
It was an awakening for a lot of people of that age.
The weather was amazing, the atmosphere, and Carl Cox was smashing it, and the crowd. It was just they didn't even want it. They didn't want it to stop.
I've still got a videotape of it or something somewhere, but you look at that, it's history, it's pure history. Never ever will there be another event like that, ever.
There's nothing like it. Looking up at the stars, the whole thing.
It was surreal. It was, is this really me? Is this me that's really part of this?
So we had 15,000 at the Book of Love, and we had 2,000 people still in Shelley's on the Saturday night, you know, which was surreal.
It was hard to imagine that where me and Neville had come from, and Mick, that we were actually part of this.
In the history of the rave scene, the Book of Love was the best rave ever. I don't care what anybody says, Fantasia, Perception, Cream, no one had ever done anything like this. And the acts we had were the best in the business.
For me, it was a kind of awakening. We can all be in that living energy, and we can all be in bliss.
You're just enjoying the moment, and we're all young, you know.
It felt like we were doing something a bit risky as well.
It was a lifestyle. Every weekend we were somewhere DJing, and there were big parties like all the time.
You were breaking rules, we were breaking free from society, and
It's only years later you look back and you think, wow.
I never regret that time. I really, really loved it.
It's great that there's like, you know, there's going to be like art in place that can kind of like remind people of a time gone by, but specific moments in that historical timeline.
Crazy things get remembered. Everyone remembers that gig, so it definitely worked.
The three little wood end lads, we had a donkey back in the day, and we've ended up doing big events for 10, 15,000 people.
It was just another numb feeling that went through you, as if to say, how the fucking hell have we done this now? How have we done this?
You know, we were just lads off the street that just, with a bit of common sense, you know, we just sort of organised everything.
It was a movement, you know, of views, and like they had nothing else to do, but rave come up, and people just, you know, they came alive.
30 years ago, all we had was like, I think the only thing music scene that was famous in Coventry was like the Specials, maybe Hazel O'Connor. You know, there was nothing huge. This was something that evolved into something that was huge.
You know, Nev, Bam and Mickey were, you know, were, want of a better word, geniuses.
You're talking about things I haven't done yet.
Wait.